There was a time when songs didn't just fill the silence, they filled a space inside you. They made you laugh, think about life, youth, and everything in between.
Welcome to your life.
In simple words, they made us feel something. Today we're revisiting 10 songs that remind us why music once felt magical.
There is a house in New Orleans.
Songs with no fancy instruments or autotune, yet somehow they never left us. Number 10. The House of the Rising Sun, The Animals. Yes, it came out in 1964, but its echo ran straight into the singer-songwriter era that followed. The song itself is much older, a folk ballad from at least the 1800s, passed from person to person with no clear author. Nobody knows who wrote it. That mystery is part of its power.
There is a house in New Orleans.
When the Animals recorded it in one take in 1964, they turned an old American story about ruin in New Orleans into a haunting British rock hit. Eric Burdon's voice isn't smooth. It sounds worn and guilty, like someone who has lived every line. Alan Price's organ part gives it a church-like weight, making the whole thing feel both sacred and doomed. It hit number 1 in both the UK and the US, and became one of the first folk songs pulled fully into electric rock. It's not a love song, and it's not a rebel anthem. It's a warning about choices, consequences, and the cost of repeating the same mistakes.
In God, I know I'm one.
In many ways, it's an early sign of modern emotional songwriting. A story that refuses to smile just to please the radio. Number 9. A Case of You, Joni Mitchell. When Blue came out in 1971, some critics didn't know what to make of it. Joni Mitchell had written something almost too honest. No distance, no character to hide behind.
I am as constant as a northern star, and I said,
A Case of You is small and quiet. Just her voice, a dulcimer or guitar, and the kind of vulnerability most people only share with one person in the middle of the night.
I drew a map of Canada, oh Canada.
I could drink a case of you and still be on my feet doesn't sound like a clever line. It sounds like someone admitting how deep they're in and how much it hurts. Over time, Blue became one of the most praised albums ever made, often called one of the greatest records in history. Joni later said she felt completely exposed when she wrote it. You can hear that in every breath. The cracks, the pauses, the bravery it takes to say these things out loud. It didn't just connect with listeners. It made many people feel, maybe for the first time, that someone had put their own messy feelings into exact words. Number 8. Fire and Rain, James Taylor. James Taylor wrote Fire and Rain after finding out that his friend Suzanne Schneer had died by suicide, news that reached him months late.
Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone.
The shock and guilt stayed with him. The song also weaves in his own struggles with addiction and time spent in psychiatric treatment, tying grief, mental health, and recovery together in one gentle, aching melody.
I've seen fire and I've seen rain.
Released in 1970, it reached number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, but the chart position is almost beside the point. What mattered was how plainly he spoke. In a time when men rarely sang openly about pain, Taylor sat at a piano and said, "I've seen fire and I've seen rain," with no drama, no disguise.
But I always thought that I'd see you again.
That simplicity quietly broke a barrier. It opened the door for other male songwriters to admit they were hurting too, without hiding behind bravado or metaphor. The song became a kind of quiet landmark, a reminder that you don't have to shout to be heard.
La 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 la.
Number 7. Wish You Were Here, Pink Floyd. Wish You Were Here isn't a typical big rock anthem. It feels more like an empty chair in song form. Roger Waters and David Gilmour wrote it about Syd Barrett, Pink Floyd's original frontman, whose mental health struggles and departure from the band left a wound that never really healed.
So you think you can tell?
During the album sessions, Barrett reportedly appeared at the studio without warning, heavier and with shaved eyebrows, and at first the band didn't recognize him. That moment only deepened the sense of loss running through the song.
Did they get you to trade your heroes for gold?
Musically, it unfolds like a quiet conversation. The radio-style intro, the gentle acoustic guitars, and lyrics that sound like someone talking to a person who isn't there anymore.
How I wish you were here.
The album went to #1 in several countries, and the song became one of Floyd's most loved tracks, but it never tries to sound huge. It leaves room, and that space is where the emotion lives. Sometimes it's the silences between notes that say the most.
Wish you were here.
Number 6. Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Tears for Fears. On the surface, it sounds like an easygoing 80s pop song. Smooth guitars, a steady beat, something you can drive to with the windows down. But it didn't start that way.
Welcome to your life.
While making songs from the big chair, the band were unsure about this track. The shuffle rhythm came from their producer's idea, and at first Tears for Fears didn't think it fit their usually darker, heavier style. They nearly left it off the album. Under that bright sound, though, the lyrics are anything but carefree. They talk about power, fear, and how fragile the world can feel. Help me make the most of freedom and a pleasure. Nothing ever lasts forever. In the mid-80s, with the Cold War and nuclear tension in the background, those lines hit a lot harder than the melody suggests. Released in 1985, it went to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and top charts in several countries. Roland Orzabal's line, "Everybody wants to rule the world," is simple, but it says a lot. About ambition, control, and how everyone wants their piece of power. What makes the song special is that contrast. Serious ideas wrapped in something you can dance to. It let a whole generation think about scary things without losing their sense of hope.
So glad we've almost made it.
Number 5. Brothers in Arms, Dire Straits. Mark Knopfler wrote Brothers in Arms with the Falklands War still fresh in people's minds. He didn't aim to write a march or a protest chant. Instead, he focused on the viewpoint of soldiers, men sent into danger by decisions far above their heads.
These mist-covered mountains.
The song became the slow, serious anchor of the Brothers in Arms album, which would go on to sell over 30 million copies. Unlike the album's more radio-friendly tracks, this one moves carefully. The guitar doesn't scream, it aches. Knopfler sings lines like, "We have just one world, but we live in different ones," like someone talking late at night after everyone else has gone home.
Someday you'll return to.
It doesn't glorify war or wrap it in heroics. It quietly honors the people who carry its cost.
Through these fields of destruction.
Over time, it's been used in war documentaries, remembrance events, and military tributes. A soft, steady reminder that behind every conflict, our individual lives change forever.
We're fools to make war on our brothers in arms.
Number 4, Everybody Hurts, R.E.M. With Everybody Hurts, R.E.M. did something very deliberate. They kept the lyrics as simple as they could. They've said they wanted the song to speak directly to young people who might be dealing with depression, especially teenagers who felt alone and unseen.
Your day is long.
Released in 1992 on Automatic for the People, it became one of their most recognizable songs worldwide. The video shows drivers stuck in traffic, each with their own private thoughts on screen, a picture of how many people carry hidden pain in plain sight.
Don't let yourself go.
There are no complex metaphors here, just clear lines like "hold on" and "don't let yourself go." In a decade that often hid emotion behind irony or noise, R.E.M. chose to speak plainly, like a letter to anyone standing on the edge. That directness gave it power.
Everybody hurts.
The song has since been used in campaigns, school programs, and countless late-night moments when someone needed to hear, very clearly, that they weren't the only ones struggling. Number 3. Hallelujah, Leonard Cohen.
I've heard there was a secret chord.
When Leonard Cohen first released Hallelujah in 1984, almost nobody noticed. The album barely made a dent, and the song slipped by with no hint of what it would become.
It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth.
Cohen reportedly wrote dozens of verses, rewriting and reshaping the lyrics over years, mixing biblical images with scenes of love, betrayal, and doubt. It's not a straightforward hymn. It's about the messy overlap between the sacred and the human. Desire, failure, faith, and confusion all tangled together. Its slow rise started with other people's versions, especially Jeff Buckley's 1994 cover, which gave it a fragile, heartbreaking glow and introduced it to a new audience.
It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah.
Since then, Hallelujah has been covered hundreds of times and used in films, ceremonies, funerals, weddings, and TV scenes where nothing else seems big enough.
Heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord.
It's proof that some songs don't arrive as hits. They wait patiently until the world is ready, and then slowly they become part of how we express things we can't say any other way. Number 2, Landslide, Fleetwood Mac. Stevie Nicks wrote Landslide in 1973 while sitting in a friend's living room in Colorado, looking at the Rocky Mountains and wondering what to do with her life.
I took my love and I took it down.
She and Lindsey Buckingham were struggling financially, working side jobs, and hoping music would eventually pay the bills. At 27, she was already thinking about change, time, and the fear of starting over.
And I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hill.
The lyrics sound simple, but they cut deep. I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I've built my life around you. It's not just about one relationship, it's about how scary it is to change anything when you've invested your whole identity in it.
Can I sail through the changing ocean tide?
Originally released on Fleetwood Mac's 1975 self-titled album, it wasn't a huge single at first, but over the years it became one of their most cherished songs, carried by live performances and later covers by The Chicks, Smashing Pumpkins, and many others. It's a song that grows with you. At 20, it feels like a warning. At 40 or 60, it feels like a mirror.
I'm getting older too.
Number 1, What a Wonderful World, Louis Armstrong.
I see trees of green.
When Louis Armstrong recorded What a Wonderful World in 1967, the real world was anything but calm. The US was deep in the civil rights struggle, the Vietnam War was escalating, and the news was full of conflict and division. Against all that noise, this song feels almost like a deep breath.
What a wonderful world.
The lyrics are very simple. Trees, flowers, skies, friends saying hello. It isn't pretending the bad things aren't happening. It's quietly reminding you that small good things still exist alongside them.
And clouds of white, bright blessed days.
The record first became a big hit in the UK, reaching number 1, but in the US it barely got promoted at the time because some people at the label didn't think a slow, gentle song would work in such a tense era.
What a wonderful world.
Over the years, films and TV shows brought it back, often using it over scenes of war, riots, or heartbreak. That contrast made it even more powerful. Armstrong's rough, warm voice doesn't sound innocent. It sounds like it has seen everything, good and bad, and is choosing to believe in beauty anyway.
I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do?
That's why the song feels magical without any tricks. It isn't fancy or complicated, it's honest. When he sings, I think to myself, what a wonderful world, it doesn't come across as blind optimism. It feels like wisdom, the kind you only earn after a lifetime of seeing how hard the world can be and still deciding there's something worth loving in it.
What a wonderful world.
So when a song means something, it never really ends. It lives with us, even decades later. Which one of these songs brought back the most memories for you? If I missed anything, drop it in the comments and I'll cover it in a future video. Hit like, subscribe for more stories behind the music that made us feel something, and I'll see you in the next one.